The European countries, they pride themselves in working on and improving their assistance to people with disabilities. And I believe that. It's just that once in a while there's a big blip, and a big one. This one was. They have trains in England that go all over the place, of course. And there is this one train system. It's called Eurostar, and I guess it goes, to international countries. And as of late, somehow, somewhere, someone made the decision not to help wheelchair users. If they couldn't get on by themselves, that was it. They weren't going to help them. And thank goodness, recently they reversed their decision. However, there's been a lot of wheelchair users that have been affected by this decision to not help wheelchair users, especially those in manual wheelchairs, to get up the ramp and that kind of stuff, and to hook them in and all that kind of stuff. And they just decided, nope, we're not helping you anymore. And the workers felt bad about this, of course. It just didn't feel right. So they recently reversed their decision. And they're giving some new training to their employees to be able to handle wheelchair users and wheelchairs. So, travelers with disabilities claim that they would be barred from Eurostar services after the company banned its London staff from pushing passenger wheelchairs. And people have been left behind. They go thinking, okay, it's a bigger system. They have ramps, so I should be able to get on. And, there was this one guy who wanted to go to France. And so, he got all ready and he was happy and excited about the trip, all that kind of stuff. And when he got there, he needed assistance to get up the ramp into the train. And the staff said, sorry, we can't help you. And the train just left without him. Can you imagine? I can't imagine how angry I would be. And this is what it says. Student actor Cedric Alvarez was left stranded on arrival at London Street Pancras after station staff told him they were no longer allowed to wheel his chair. He had requested special assistance for the journey from Paris, and his booking confirmation stated that he would be pushed to and from the train at both stations. Eventually, a couple of staff took pity on him and agreed to push me to the taxi rank, provided they could take a photo of me to show their manager in case they got into trouble, he said. Now, a lot of people have been left behind. Not only this gentleman who, needed to or wanted to go to France, and Eurostar has reversed their decision. However, I think they should have a slap on the wrist and get a fine for doing so. Both countries agreed to support people with disabilities in various ways, and I think to push someone up a ramp into the train is not a big deal. And I think staff, really felt bad about this new order. And I think the Eurostar saw the trouble that could come down the road if they didn't reverse it. But, all these people have been stranded and mistreated. I think they should go to the courts and say, hey, this is what's going on with Eurostar, and what are we supposed to do? So it's a really sad situation. Hopefully they'll continue to train their staff and they'll be able to handle very well. The wheelchairs, I think they've been handling them fine. I haven't seen any incidences with the staff and them handling, the wheelchairs. So that's not the issue. It's the issue of the CEO making a dumb decision. Truly, truly, truly. The next piece of news is, it sounds really good, and this is what a wheelchair should do. The title is on for this person. This is from Vogue magazine, and I thought to using a wheelchair would hem me in. Actually, it set me free. And that's what wheelchairs should represent, freedom. Absolute freedom. I don't think that, a wheelchair is a jail. Actually, it's a ticket to true freedom, to be able to get around again, and to be able to do the things that you like to do. Maybe not in the same way, maybe truly not in the same way, but you get from point A to point B, and there are different things that you need to arrange depending on the type of wheelchair to get from point A to B, point A to B. But, I think that wheelchairs, in a sense, give you that freedom. And I know a person who's in a wheelchair right now, and she's feeling like she's in jail. And things are her world is getting smaller. And it might. But once she gets here and returns to our house, I might be able to teach her a few tricks in which, she'll feel a little bit more freedom. And I think that tricks and training and getting to know your city is crucial. Getting to know your area and what services are available is really important, so you don't feel that hemmed in, like, oh no, I can't do this anymore, I can't do that, I can't do the other. And she's enjoyed freedom for quite some time, but now it's come to, a head where, her world's going to get really small. But, I will show her the tricks of the trade and how to get around and go places where she wants to go. And for her to know that there is a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, folks, of getting around. In Houston, I know that there was difficulty for wheelchair users to get around, to get to their appointments, and it just came to the board of that city that they needed, vans to transport people in wheelchairs to their appointments, and other people who did not have transportation. And boom, they got a van, they got a couple of vans. I need to see how they're doing now. But that's where, stress and a couple of people talking to each other, things can get born to help us to freedom. And, it doesn't have to be the jail sensation. Really doesn't. And sometimes it doesn't mean that you have to do it. It doesn't mean that your friend has to do it. But a group of people can look at, okay, what kind of transportation are we missing? What kind of transportation do we need to build? What kind of transportation do I need? Sometimes it's an I. So, it's that kind of thing that you should not allow, or we should not allow, to be caged, to be jailed, just because we're in a wheelchair. So I know in the county I can go anywhere I need to go, because I figured out, the county van system, and there's a bus that once in a while I take to get to a certain store that I like. So you just, figure things out gradually. And if there's a gap in services, then you start talking. You go to the county and say, hey, why do we not have these services? Can we build these services? And really start to stir things up. Because that's the way things happen, And in other countries, they don't have that, but things have been born over there to help people in wheelchairs, and I've seen it happen. So, they have enabled, there's a piece of this article, they have enabled European holidays and visits to Kenya, South Africa, Dubai, and India. Indeed, on one memorable occasion, the disassembled chair was thrown, wheel by wheel, onto an already moving Indian train. It has taken me through a degree at the University of Cambridge into a career as an author and an independent life I once feared would be impossible. So she got to where she needed to go. So and she says here, my early worries about being bound to the wheelchair also proved unfounded. Roughly 1/3 of wheelchair users in the UK are ambulatory, and like them, I can walk a little, and frequently do, despite the incredulous looks this often garners from passerby. I will pull myself up out of my wheelchair to take a few steps or to navigate some other impassable terrain. So not all of us can do that. I'm ambulatory as well, but short distance. And I certainly can't navigate obstacles. Some people can. I'm not one of those. So that's not in the article. I'm talking about myself. But truly, we need to continue to fight for accessibility. I know members here try to get around the cities, and there are obstacles, and that's when you need to pick up the phone, call the county, call the city, and say, hey, what the heck? You have wheelchair users here, and we need this obstacle to be removed. So, and even if it's more than one. So there are all kinds of news here, and I will leave the links about people, trying to break free of obstacles, not the wheelchair itself. It's obstacles that other people place in our way. And we need to continue to work on moving those obstacles aside. Trains, people who can't move wheelchairs, crazy stuff that happens. So I invite you to think about the obstacles that you're going to encounter in your neighborhood, in your city, and to be courageous, to call the county, to call the board, whoever it is that you need to call to make sure those obstacles are removed. Due to it slows you down, and it doesn't help you get from point A to point B. People who walk can get from point A to point B, but you can't. They're going to stop you. They're going to slow you down. No. It's not fair that some people can get there and you can't. So always remember to not fear the obstacles, but figure out a plan in which the obstacle can be eliminated. And for all of us, Eurostar and other organizations, cities, counties, need to listen to us. We're a citizen. We're part of the care that they need to have an outreach to and realize what we go through just to live, just to get from place to place. So that's the news for today. I just wanted to throw it out there. There is some more news about France and the upcoming Olympics, Paralympics. So I want to invite everybody to look it up, to seek and to read about it. I'll leave a link. I think there's a link somewhere here about the Paralympics in France. So I will put that under in the description box so you all can read it. So it was good getting back. Hopefully I can keep myself in one piece. And if there is any other news you want me to look up and talk about, we can do that. But obstacles, we have to eliminate them. Even if it's us, the wheelchair users, we will and we need to do so and not fear to pick up the phone, not to fear to gather a couple of people who have had issues with the obstacles in your city, in your county, in your state, in your province. So that is an invitation to all of you. Well, thank you for being here and staying with me for a few moments to listen to me babble about news that's been out there, about people talking about their issues in their city, in their province, in their state, in their county. And I invite you to click on those videos down below, or to click a like, or to subscribe. All of that helps the channel to continue to grow. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.